Hey everyone, it's Abel, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that affects pretty much all of us, whether we realize it or not. Have you ever hit that afternoon slump where your brain just won't cooperate no matter how hard you try to focus? You're staring at your screen, the words are blurring, and your motivation just seems to have packed its bags and left. I've been there more times than I can count, and for the longest time, I just chalked it up to a heavy workload or maybe not getting enough sleep the night before. But what if I told you the real culprit might not be your to-do list or your pillow? It turns out, the culprit might be lurking right there in your kitchen disguised as your favorite snacks or go-to meals. It's a bit of a shocker, I know, because we often reach for these foods for comfort, for a quick energy boost, or simply out of habit. We trust them. But the truth is, many everyday foods that we think are harmless or even helpful could be silently draining our energy, messing with our mood, and seriously impairing our ability to focus. It's like trying to run a high-performance race car on cheap, dirty fuel. It just won't perform at its best, and eventually it's going to sputter and stall. Most people don't realize that these seemingly innocent food choices are silently draining their energy, mood, and focus. We're constantly bombarded with marketing for convenient, tasty options, but rarely do we stop to think about the profound impact these foods have on our cognitive function. It's not just about physical health, it's about mental clarity, emotional stability, and overall productivity. So if you're ready to unlock your brain's true potential and say goodbye to that frustrating brain fog, stick around, because we're about to expose some of the biggest offenders. Alright, let's kick things off with a category of foods that are masters of disguise-packaged snacks. I'm talking about those chips, cookies, crackers, granola bars, basically anything that comes in a crinkly bag or a brightly colored box promising instant gratification. We all reach for them, right? They're convenient, they're usually tasty, and they seem like a quick fix when hunger strikes or when we need a little pick-me-up during a busy day. I used to have a drawer full of these at my desk, thinking I was being smart by having fuel readily available. The problem is, this convenience comes at a significant cost, especially to our clarity and stamina. Most of these ultra-processed foods are loaded with refined carbohydrates, unhealthy fats, and a ton of sugar or artificial sweeteners. When you eat them, your blood sugar levels go on a wild roller coaster ride. Initially, you might feel a quick burst of energy, a little sugar high that makes you think, this is what I needed. But that feeling is incredibly short-lived, and what comes next is the inevitable crash. This crash is where the real trouble begins for your brain. As your blood sugar plummets, your insulin levels, which spiked to deal with the sugar rush, also fall. This sudden drop leaves you feeling sluggish, irritable, and enveloped in a thick brain fog. Trying to concentrate or think clearly in this state is like wading through mud. Your ability to stay motivated takes a nosedive, and tasks that would normally seem manageable suddenly feel overwhelming. It's a vicious cycle because when you feel that dip, what's the easiest thing to reach for? Another packaged snack, of course. Think about it. These products are engineered to be hyper-palatable. Food scientists spend countless hours perfecting the bliss point, that perfect combination of salt, sugar, and fat that makes these snacks almost irresistible. This isn't an accident, it's by design. They want you to keep coming back for more, regardless of the nutritional void they often represent. And while your taste buds might be temporarily satisfied, your brain is crying out for real, sustained nourishment. The impact isn't just on your immediate focus either. Consistently relying on these snacks can lead to chronic inflammation in the body, and that includes the brain. This inflammation can further impair cognitive function, memory, and even contribute to mood swings. Let's talk about breakfast, often touted as the most important meal of the day. Specifically, let's look at sugary cereals, a popular choice for rushed mornings. Those colorful boxes with playful mascots can be incredibly tempting. But many of these cereals are essentially dessert in a box, packed with refined sugars. High fructose corn syrup, sucrose, dextrose, all send your blood sugar on a chaotic roller coaster. The initial sugar rush might wake you up, but the crash leaves you drained and unfocused. Marketing often fortifies them with vitamins and whole grain labels, masking the high sugar content. Imagine starting your day with a sugar bomb, leaving your brain struggling for steady energy. Chapter 3. The Midnight Munchies Menace, Frozen Meals, and Late-Night Snacking. Let's talk about frozen meals and late-night snacking. After a long day, cooking can feel like a chore. Frozen meals are convenient, but often unhealthy. Late-night snacks like chips or ice cream can disrupt sleep. These foods are high in sodium, unhealthy fats, and sugars. They can lead to chronic inflammation and poor brain function. Poor sleep affects your focus and mood the next day. Late-night snacking can cause discomfort and indigestion. It disrupts sleep cycles and leads to morning grogginess. Your digestive system works overtime, causing restless nights. You wake up feeling unfocused and irritable. Your brain misses out on crucial memory consolidation. That late-night snack sabotages your next day's performance. Short-term pleasure leads to next-day pain. I used to be a notorious late-night snacker. Whether working late or watching TV, I'd reach for snacks. I'd tell myself it was to help me relax or that I was hungry. But the next morning I'd wake up feeling groggy and unfocused. It took me a while to connect the dots between my evening eating habits and my morning brain fog. Chapter 4. The Deceptive Burst. Why Cold Soda Crashes Your Concentration. Next up on our list of brain saboteurs is something many people consume daily without a second thought: cold soda. Whether it's a cola, a lemon-lime drink, or a fruity concoction, these sugary beverages are a staple for many seeking a quick refreshment or an energy jolt. I remember reaching for one during a long study session or a tedious afternoon at work, thinking it would give me that much-needed boost to power through, and in a way it does, but it's a very deceptive burst. That cold, fizzy sweetness delivers a rapid influx of sugar into your bloodstream. You get that quick high, that momentary feeling of alertness and energy. For a few minutes you might feel like you can conquer the world, or at least that pile of paperwork on your desk. This is the allure of soda. It promises instant energy in a can or bottle. However, this sugar rush is incredibly fleeting. What follows is a sharp, often brutal, crash. As your body scrambles to deal with the massive sugar load by releasing a surge of insulin, your blood sugar levels plummet. This leaves you feeling even more tired, sluggish, and mentally foggy than before you drank the soda. Your concentration shatters, and that initial burst of energy feels like a distant memory. It's a classic boom and bust cycle that does your brain no favors. Beyond the sugar, most sodas offer absolutely zero nutritional value. They are often referred to as empty calories for a good reason. They provide energy in the form of sugar but lack any vitamins, minerals, fiber, or antioxidants that your brain needs to function optimally. So, while you're consuming calories, you're not actually nourishing your brain. In fact, you're actively stressing it with the sugar overload and subsequent crash. Think about the frequency. If you're having a soda every afternoon, or even multiple times a day, you're subjecting your brain to these repeated cycles of highs and lows. This constant instability makes it incredibly difficult to maintain consistent focus and energy throughout the day. It's like trying to drive a car that's constantly accelerating and then suddenly braking. It's inefficient and exhausting. Chapter 5. The Caffeine Conundrum. When your morning coffee backfires. Coffee is a daily essential for many, boosting alertness and concentration. But moderation is key. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach can spike cortisol, your stress hormone. This can leave you feeling jittery and anxious rather than focused. The initial buzz fades, leading to a caffeine crash and dependency cycle. Coffee's acidity can also irritate your digestive system, causing discomfort. Remember, balance is crucial for enjoying your coffee without the downsides. Outrow fueling your focus, the path to peak productivity. So after exploring these 5 common food and drink habits, I want you to ask yourself, what if your lack of productivity, that brain fog or those mood swings aren't primarily a motivation problem? What if it's fundamentally a fuel problem? We often beat ourselves up for not being focused or energetic enough, without realizing that we might be unintentionally sabotaging our brains with the very things we're consuming. It's a powerful question to consider, and the answer could genuinely change how you approach your daily life and work. Think of your brain like a high-performance engine. It's an incredibly sophisticated piece of machinery that requires premium fuel to run optimally. What you feed it directly determines how well it performs, how clearly it thinks, and how resilient it is to stress. Choosing whole foods, complex carbohydrates that provide sustained energy, healthy fats that support brain structure, and ensuring proper hydration over a diet laden with processed items, refined sugars, excessive salt, or fried foods doesn't just impact your physical health, it profoundly transforms your mental output. In the end, for me, cutting out or significantly reducing these 5 common food habits wasn't about going on a restrictive diet in the traditional sense. It was a strategic productivity hack, an investment in my cognitive capital that changed my career dramatically improved my mood and enhanced my overall quality of life. It was about understanding the direct link between my plate and my performance. Try making some of these changes for just a week and just see how your mind responds. You might be genuinely shocked at how much sharper, calmer, and more productive you feel. It's an experiment worth conducting for a clearer, more energized you.